That's Rosemary's Baby?
Yeah.
What happened to her eyes?
Well, his eyes. What have you done to its eyes?
Oh, okay, yeah. So anything like that, it always reminds me of this Goosebumps book, and they're all just terrifying. Anytime someone's freaking out about their own eyes not being theirs. I don't know. So I thought it was described very well. I actually felt this whole book was very well described.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's the best written of the books so far.
Yeah. And he really captured Halloween, you know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. This is probably like my second favorite that we've done so far.
Okay. Yeah. But to her surprise, Nick, the man was still there and let her in. He said that he was staying there waiting for her because he knew she'd be back. And he now has to regretfully admit to her that she could not take the mask off because it was not a mask at all.
There is no way to take this off.
Absolutely no way.
No way whatsoever.
I waited here at this store to tell you that there was no way for you to take it off.
Absolutely no way to take this off.
Give you a little bit of hope.
You are fucking doomed.
And then I take that hope away. That's what I do. I'm the man in the cape. He doesn't actually even have the cape on.
This fall on NBC.
The man in the cape.
No, just the cape.
Oh, the cape. So these are real faces. He made these faces in a laboratory. Another scientist.
Yeah, just like Spider.
Also not as bad as Spider. He's not a hobo, a hobo scientist. But he's still a scientist who's working at a once-a-year party store.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the fall that some of these best and brightest take in the Goosebumps series. He says that these faces used to be beautiful, but something went wrong. They changed. They became grotesque. They became the unloved.
Oh, just like me.
Yeah. You were a beautiful little baby.
And then what happened?
Still beautiful, Nick.
No, I'm not.
So the unloved is what he calls these masks.
Sorry, I thought you were referring to me again.
No. You know, and I'm thinking part of this is like, well, I don't know how beautiful they were because some of these masks were described as having
chunks of flesh peeling off.
But that's okay. I can imagine these maybe are faces that are deteriorating. But one of them, I think, had a rat poking up through the skull.
Yeah.
Another one had something like jammed into its eye. It's like, well, it can only be so beautiful. I mean, now you're adding...
It was a nail.
Yeah, a nail.
Someone had nailed a thing. It's like, what?
Yeah. That's not a natural...
That doesn't happen naturally. It's not,
It's not natural decomposition. This is... You've done something to these masks. You've had a couple of issues. So, do you have any problems with this? I mean, this is really all the description that we get for these masks. This guy made them in a lab, and now he's brought them to a mask store and not put them up for sale, but still displayed them in the back room.
I mean, as one does.
It's
a Goosebumps book. It's written for children, Matthew.
It's true, but the TV episode did evolve this storyline a little bit because the store owner had a bit of a deformity on his face, just like a rough patch of skin.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, this is going to be another one of those faces over there because, I make faces for myself for some reason.
Well, I think it's like he's been trying to fix his own face, and he wants to look normal, so he keeps making faces, but they just don't last. They don't keep. They start to rot. And just when he looks in the mirror, kind of touches his own face, this is in the episode, and says, soon my face will join them. And then tells her that you don't want to see what's underneath this mask, or maybe I should show you. Horrifying. And this is such a good, addition to the story. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this is where he keeps the masks. Whatever. Don't keep him in the basement. He kind of loves the masks.
Stay out of the basement.
Yeah, that's true. Stay out of the back rooms, too.
No. Just stay out of the basement.
This is where he keeps the masks, Nick. And he does love the masks. I think for as much as he doesn't want to hurt anybody, he's got certain responsibilities towards these masks.
Certain responsibilities?
Yes. They are his creations. They're his little babies. And he needs to find them faces.
Oh, look at the little baby.
Because every once in a while, someone wanders into the back room, like Carly Beth, and one of his faces finds a new home. Carly Beth isn't pleased to hear this, because this face is her face now. He's very sorry. Not sorry enough to give her a refund, though.
No,
he's keeping that $30. He's already bought a new cape. He says that there is one way. It's just crazy enough to work.
There's one way that's crazy enough to work. I said there was absolutely no way before, but there is one way.
Needed to build dramatic tension.
Yep.
The mask can only be removed
with love.
A symbol of love, Nick. And it will only work once. The next time the mask attaches itself to a face, it will be forever. It will be a forever face.
Oh no, I wonder what the last page is going to be.
Well, at this point I'm thinking, well, sucks that Carly Beth already put this mask on once. She kind of ruined her chance to ever take it off again.
Oh, yeah.
Because he said it can only be removed once. And she's already removed it.
Yeah.
And it was a little difficult, but it didn't like really adhere to her flesh. So maybe that was the thing. Maybe she only wore it for a few minutes. But,
Yeah.
no explanation on that.
No.
Carly Beth demands more information about removing it, since it was pretty vague. But the man has nothing more to say. She starts yelling. Hits his chest, as a kid would do to an adult. She wants to be heard. He motions for her to keep her voice down. It's too late, though. To their horror, she has awoken all of the masks.
Oh, no.
The hideous faces floated up, jabbering excitedly. Sickening sounds. Love us, Carly Beth.
I just want to be loved like Nick. Carly Beth.
She's like, whoa, guys, come on now. I'm wearing one face. I can't wear more.
Where's all? Where's all, Carly Beth?
They should know that they can't take the masks off.
Yeah, I know.
All of their eyes locked onto Carly Beth. The shopkeep told her to run. At first she didn't move. Her legs felt like jello.
Jello!
But she managed to make it out of there and onto the street. To her horror, though, faces following her, just floating and bobbing around, chasing her, making sounds. Carly Beth decides that she's got to find that plaster of Paris head her mom made, because closest thing to a symbol of love she can think of is probably that. Her mom did say, I made it because I love you.
Yeah.
Worth a try. She ran back to the area. She tossed it, scrambles to find it, doesn't find it, then finds it.
Yeah.
Chapter break in between there, just to build a little more tension. The floating faces close in on her, and she held the head up just in time.
She held her head up high.
Mm-hmm. What do you think these floating faces are even going to do to her, though? They're just a bunch of heads. Like, they could bite her, I guess, but is that really their goal?
I have no idea.
And they just want to be loved. They're like a bunch of kittens. Like, would you run away from a bunch of kittens?
Yes.
Well, you would. She holds the face up, the plaster of Paris face. It doesn't do anything. All the floating heads just start laughing at her.
Mm-hmm.
If they had fingers, they'd be pointing and laughing. This is just like school.
It's just like school.
Even the haunted masks are laughing at Carly Beth. She can't get a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, just when she thought she was cool. No one's going to make fun of her in this mask, she thought. And then, no, all the other ones. She actually picked the lamest mask. That's the mask that always gets made fun of.
It's like that robot chicken sketch where E.T. goes back to his home planet and they're all just like, oh god, the retard's back. Kleborp, the retard. Oh, look, you have your one finger? We've got 5 fingers that light up. What the fuck? It's just like, home. Use full sentences, you little retard.
So Carly Beth has accepted her defeat. She closes her eyes and just wants the world to swallow her up. She places the head over her own. To her surprise and our surprise, Nick, this plaster of Paris head seemed to slide right on over the mask, like it was a mask itself.
Plaster of Paris doesn't do that. It's solid. It is hard and solid.
Yeah, there's a bit of magic involved here, because Carly Beth was also very surprised.
There must have been some magic in that old plaster of Paris head she found.
For when she placed it on her head, she didn't die.
Yeah.
By a bunch of other masks biting her.
We should write that as a song.
Yeah. So it seemed to work. She removed it. The faces were gone. The seam had reappeared, and the mask just slid off with great ease.
Yanked it off. Yep.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Oh, it was just a mask all along." She puts it back on just to solidify her suspicions, and that's it.
Yeah.
Never taking it off again. Sorry, Carly Beth. No, she is not that stupid. She does not put it back on. You know, in the European English version of this book, Nick.
Yeah.
Spooky fact. Delayed.
Spooky fact.
The mask is not removed by a symbol of love at all, but with a magic potion. Because Europeans don't believe in love.
I would imagine that they're the one culture that does.
Apparently
Have you been
not.
to France?
No, maybe they're just more like... the love, it does not work this way. Love is sacred.
Oh, boy.
It does not make any sense. Carly Beth takes this mask off with love. Love, it is majestic. It is for writing poems and making babies. Not for Stein to desecrate in his livre. Carly Beth will use a potion.
Yeah, but it's a magic potion. It doesn't... It's harumph. Harumph.
So the magic potion does the job. That is a lot. So what do you think do you think the procurer of these masks just says, There's no way to take it off,
Except this magic potion I got over here.
it will cost another $30. But I gave you everything I had.
It was all that one bill.
I am sorry then, Carly Beth. So she runs home, looks at herself in the mirror, just can't stop from smiling. She sits down with her mom, who rightly wants to know where she's been.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, you were supposed to be home an hour ago.
Sabrina's been calling.
Yeah, and you know how much I hate talking to Sabrina. She just talks and talks and talks. I felt like going over there and strangling her.
I tried that, Ma. You'd been proud of me.
Yeah. They're interrupted, though, when Noah enters the room wearing Carly Beth's mask.
Oh, no.
Hey, how do I look in your mask, Carly Beth?
It can't come off, Noah.
You know, in the real world, this is where the true horror would start.
Yeah.
Because now there's absolutely no hope.
I really hope the sequel is just them, like, going to a bunch of specialists trying to be like, what happened to my son's face?
Just a lot of cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
Removing skin from the back of his legs to try to
Try
to make him look human again.
Yeah.
Experimenting with pigmentation medicine. I don't know. Well, you know what, Nick? You're going to be happy to know that Carly Beth is in the sequel. However, her brother passed away.
Really?
No, I don't know. But I don't think that. I feel like they don't deal with it. I
feel like there's probably no consequences. There's a whole nother wacky adventure with haunted masks and, yeah.
Yeah. Final thoughts on this book, Nick?
We're going to final thoughts right away?
Well, I don't know. The book's over.
I know the book's over, but I want to go back and talk about...
Oh, yeah. Well, your final thoughts can go back. They can jump around. They can do anything they want.
Fine. I love this book. It was extremely well written. Probably the most well written thus far. And I really felt, and I'm not, like, you know, reading too much into it, like, stay out of the basement, but, like, I really felt... First of all, I felt a connection with Carly Beth. Yeah. Like, in terms of, like, this is, like, how I feel a lot of times. And then the mask and, like, how she got her confidence and everything, whether or not the confidence was, like, you know, real or whatever. It was really, I felt, not an allegory or a metaphor or whatever, it just felt very much like a bipolar episode.
Okay.
Like, you know, she's so down on herself, and then, like, you know, she got the mask on, then she's, like, all full of energy, and, like, rah, 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 rah. Like, you know, sometimes she can't control what she's doing or saying. And as someone who's dealt with that a lot, like, there are times where you don't know, like, you're not, you can't control what you're saying and doing sometimes, and it's... You
might be in a situation that is really upsetting to you, but you just don't know what words to use to fix it, and you're just... And you make it worse by running away, let's say.
Well, I mean, there's that, and just, like, being just so angry and irritable, and it's just, like...
But if you were to act on any of that, unfortunately, it's like, you're the crazy person. You are the monster.
And that's, you know, usually what ends up happening. And I don't know, it resonated with me a lot as someone who has dealt with stuff like that in the past and present and probably the future as well. And just being so, to the point where you just want to, like, tear your skin off and just crawl over.
Jesus.
No, I'm not joking.
I know. I'm just wondering how I'm going to follow up with this on this.
Like, you know, not being comfortable in your own skin, looking in the mirror and not seeing yourself.
Yeah.
Like, there have been times where I have done that, and I'm just like, who?
Yeah, like the mask seemed inconsequential to the way she was feeling. It felt like she wasn't comfortable with herself. They used the mask to kind of portray that, but it really had nothing to do with the mask.
I don't want it to be too dark or heavy right there. It's just like, that's what I got out of the book. And, you know, I wonder if other people who are reading it, like, you know, who are our age, like all our listeners, if maybe they've seen that too. I don't know. Yeah.
Sorry. Don't be sorry. It was from the heart, Nick. And
I don't have one, remember?
It was from the motherboard then. I don't know.
Ba-dum-bump. Hey!
I did see this story differently than how it was written, because I really felt like the mask wasn't really changing her personality. I really thought the mask was just that, just a mask, just something that she could hide behind and be the person that she wanted to be, or at least live out certain fantasies that she didn't feel comfortable living out when she was just herself. Because you even see it from the beginning when she normally would apologize to those two little boys and to the mother for scaring them, but she realized she just didn't feel like it. and she doesn't have to be worried about it now because nobody knows who she is, so she can just do whatever she wants.